Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Have at It. This is episode 12. My name is Ben Cornett here on in the Ben Zone Facebook group, and also in our my YouTube channel, Ben Cornett 9015, and on Twitter at BennyBoy702. How's everybody doing tonight? I'm doing okay. We're going to be talking about some football this week. Talk about my team, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Um, we had some releases, player releases that's going to happen eventually. That's what's been reported on all the Bucks websites. We're going to also talk about Jalen Carter, top defensive tackle prospect in the NFL draft this year. Will his with the recent off the field issues, will that affect his draft status, or will he just remain in the top two or three? Also, we'll talk about the NFL Combine. What do we is it effective? It is an effective tool to evaluate players or not. We'll get into all that, but first, let me bring in my co-host for the NFL edition. The first one. This is Mr. Johnny Dean. Johnny, good evening, sir. How you doing?
How you doing, sir? How you doing?
Good, man. And my other co-host on the NFL edition that is on with me, Johnny and Alex Susmore. Anthony, this is Alec Schomber. Alec, how you doing tonight? You doing good? Great, man. Thanks for joining us. I appreciate it. All right, so Johnny, since Alex is well,
Incapacitated.
yes. Oh man, so quite a week this week with the our Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You know, we've seen the potential releases. Um, so why don't we start off with that? What what release are you're like, okay, no big deal. And what release are you like, come on, man, we can't find a way to keep them?
Um, the only one that I would, and he's not going to be released because he's going to move his money around again, and that's Mike Evans. That's the only one that would really bother me the most. Um, it bothered me if somebody went to Vita Vea and said, "Oh, we're going to release you." Nah, stay off of that, man.
Oh,
Mr. Worse, no, no, no. That's our youth right there. That's our foundation. Um, other than that, I would
my
God
bad.
would not be upset with a release. You know. Other than that, nobody would really bother me.
Okay. All right.
Especially depending on what we can get out of these guys too. I don't want just releases for nothing. I want Cameron Bray. Come on, Cameron's been on. He's been on the fans talk about being traded away or released for as long as he's been here.
Yeah.
So yeah, we got the best out of Cameron. Let him go make some money somewhere if he thinks he can. Whatever, you know.
Yeah.
Um, Donovan Smith. That's been everybody's been screaming for that for day one. So whatever it is, it is. I'd rather keep him for depth, but I you can't keep that payroll on there either.
Oh no, I get that. I don't have a problem with Donovan Smith being released. I mean, however, do you have a plan at left tackle? That's the key. That's the
Exactly.
thing.
Like last year, we watched the the whole thing just blow up in our face, man, because we had no plan at those offensive line positions.
That's and I know that's and I get it. Fans are fans, but you got to realize there's more to it. You okay? Well, what do you do? Do you just left tackles just don't grow off of trees? They
Yeah,
don't
and there's
fall
a
off.
big drop off after
Yeah,
the first three or four come off the board. There's a big drop off on talent too. So
exactly. And also, and I get the finances and everything, but if you're going to be the one thing with Donovan is he's a good run blocker. He's a good run blocker. And if you're going to have your new offensive coordinator, Dave Canelli's, have a run heavy offense, don't you want to have at least that experience at left tackle to maybe start the season and then
absolutely, I
draft,
would.
yeah, and then draft a tackle?
Especially when you're going to a more run heavier offense, you need Donovan's experience. Donovan is a great run blocker, man. People don't seem to understand that. That's
Right.
why when he gets called on penalties downfield where he's downfield, that's why, because he's run blocking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He hasn't reined that in. He has reined it in quite a bit from his first 2 seasons, but
Right. True.
he's still a run blocker at heart.
Yep. Mr. Schomburg, are you finally in, sir?
See, I'm finally in.
So we're talking about the Bucks releases this week. Is there releases that you're saying, okay, I can live with that? And are there any releases that you're like, oh, come on, we couldn't keep him no matter what?
One that I would hate to lose, that every Buccaneer fan would hate to lose, but if
Mhm.
he's going after more money, then I deal with it, and that would be LVD. I'd hate to lose him; it would kill me, but I can understand his point of view where he needs to go make that big paycheck because he's earned it. Of all the Buccaneer players, he's earned it more than anybody else.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's still at his age of what, 30, 31, 32. He's still effective. He can
Well,
still play
he
at
was
high
one of
level.
the best linebackers in the league last year. His tackles are over 100 tackles again this year. So,
Well, and you want to have him back because also, Devin White, he's contract's going to be coming up after 2023, and are you going to pay him the big money if this guy can perform? And if
there's
not,
the point. I think that's the issue with LVD is Levante has not ever wanted that captain badge on his head. He don't want to call the plays out. He don't want the mic in his ear.
Yeah.
And we went and got Quan Alexander to take that away from him so he could relieve him of that. And then guess what? Quan Alexander didn't step up, and Levante had to keep the green dot on his head. And Devin White now he's great tackler and stuff, but he's not good in pass protection, dude. And so Levante David has to keep that green dot on his head. And I think if Levante leaves, that's why he'll leave. That and the money.
well, and also the inconsistency of Devin White. He has some good games, but
Right.
then he has some bad games. You need that consistency. Levante, that's the one thing he has.
Well, all linebackers have bad games. I mean, Devin White had 140 tackles this year, so he's at the top of he's in the top ranked linebacking corps, but he doesn't play pass very well.
Yeah. Good points, Johnny. And Mr. Schomburg, want to add on to that?
I mean, mostly I can live with Donovan Smith. I mean, it's like a 50-50 on it. I can live with Donovan Smith leaving penalty wise, but that's only if we can't really find that good replacement for him in that aspect. But I can be completely fine if Fournette leaves. I can be completely fine with it. Some may disagree with me. Me personally, it's just one of those things where the offensive coordinator, it probably doesn't fit his scheme in a way, or more so it's a money thing. So if it's not all players are going to stay on the team for as long as everybody wants them to stay.
Yeah.
He was a part of the Super Bowl team, so can't knock him for that. But you start seeing that flashes of Rachaad White getting more snaps than him, more so because of his injury. And they just want to go with. I'm guessing he's the direction they want to go with next season. So if that's what they're going with, I would not mind Fournette leaving.
I think Fournette was purely a financial move.
Yeah,
Really,
I don't think they like White better. It's just the money.
Yeah, I think if
Fournette wanted to go too, so
Yeah, he did say that. He said, "Yeah, without Brady now, my time's done here." So,
yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Now, back to what you said about the plan? That's another spot. What's the plan? Because you're not going to just lean on Rachaad White all season long. You're going to have a double head right there. That's what gave us hope when we got that double-headed beast was, all right, we can be a running game and then a team. But then again, we had an offensive coordinator and a quarterback that don't like to run the ball. So
No, they don't. And also, we had a lot of injuries in the offensive line, this year. I think people
Yeah.
forget that too. Marpet retiring, Jensen injury in training camp. You had Donovan was hurt. He missed a couple games. So you had to play musical chairs with.
When we get on the phone to Marpet, he's graduated now. He retired to go get his diploma and stuff. Hasn't he graduated now? Let's get on the phone with Allie.
Hey, I mean, Jason Light, he's got his number. So, but no, I think Marpet's pretty much happy. I mean, he's gonna stay healthy and good for him. He was a big part of one of probably Jason Light's best draft picks. Wouldn't you say? I mean,
oh yeah, he could have been Hall of Famer, I believe, given time. Yeah, he was one of the best guards in the league for a long time there, and the nation recognized him as that too. So it's not just Bucks fans saying that.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I just felt that was also Donovan's crutch that was his boy right there next to him. That was another thing I think that.
Well, they moved Allie around from left to right quite a bit, so he wasn't always there.
True,
Cameron Brate was with Donovan more than Allie was, honestly.
Yeah, I'm just saying though, like when you have somebody like a Marpet as good as he is, it definitely helps your tackles out. So that's all I'm saying. Now we have to replace these guys. So I mean, you look at the draft, we're number 19. We're picking 19th. And do we go with the tackle? There's not very many, and that's the problem here. Last year would have been perfect because you had tons of tackles in the draft. Now this year, quite the opposite. But there is, people are talking about Robinson out of Texas, the running back, possibly. And that's pretty high for a draft pick, for a need.
Well, as a running back, if you want to look at it like we don't have the offensive line to open gaps, then you need a running back, somebody like Robinson who can make their own gaps, because he can. If there's a guy in the draft at running back position that could succeed on this line, it would probably be him.
That's a good point. I mean, he's probably one of the better running back prospects we've seen in the last few years. So
yeah, he's probably, if his projection keeps on, he's going to be a King Henry or the kid with the Colts. What's his name?
Jonathan Stewart.
Yeah,
Jonathan
Taylor.
Yeah,
he's going to be similar to that type of running back. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Well, a lot heavier though.
Yeah.
Somebody who can actually take the pounding. That's what the thing is. Without Lenny, you got to find somebody that can take that pounding. And I don't see anybody behind Rachaad White that's going to do that. I don't even know if Rachaad White can take that kind of pounding. He don't like to run in the middle.
Yeah, he can do it, but
he can. But he's better at going around the edge.
He's better, around east and west more than north and south. Hey, Alec, would you be all right with Robinson if we drafted him at 19?
I mean, I'm not gonna be opposed to it. I mean, anything that the Jason Light has in his, I haven't doubted it since. I mean, granted, like I don't want to be that person to say this because some people are like, oh my gosh, you want to bash your team, but me personally, fuck the playoffs next year. I rather not. Like if we have a good team, like record wise, like everything's like gelling, then that's fine. But it's like I rather like
we're struggling to get into playoffs. In other words, you don't want to be there.
Yeah,
right? Exactly.
Yeah, that's what I want.
I'm like that too.
Because I mean, if we go on a run, then yeah. But it's just like I don't want it to be where it's like 5 weeks out and they're trying to like push for a playoff spot like this. At that point,
I want to be competitive when we go in.
Yeah, I still rather be competitive. I don't want to be just tanking just the tank.
Exactly.
You don't want to
I'm not saying tanking, but it's
the T word doesn't even exist in my language. It doesn't exist in any player's language either. That's a
I mean, I'm not trying to say tank, but it's like
no, I know you're not. I'm just saying there's fans out there. Oh, yeah, we got a tank. We got a tank. We got to get Caleb Williams. Like, come on, guys.
It's more so like how it's more so how I felt like the last season, like the game against Carolina. Yeah. I want us to lose that game because like if you see everybody in the playoffs, it's like looking at the draft board, it's like you're furthering away. I mean, it's one thing like to like say like, oh, I want this team to go 0-16, or another way of saying like, I want to have like a decent draft pick and not like go too far like up the board, just being like that good 18, 19 range. Like I want them to compete. I'm not get me wrong, but it's like I feel like the playoffs is like you're just going there just to be a first round exit, in my
Right.
opinion.
Johnny must have got my
But
email because we got our outfits on tonight. Alec, where's your outfit? Did you have your black hoodie
I
on?
didn't know if the house was still going to be standing by now.
Oh man. Well, anyway, let's speaking of draft picks, let's switch gears here. The big news this week was Jalen Carter, defensive tackle from Georgia. He's supposed to be a top three pick. Then he got arrested. He went to Georgia, turned himself in, came out, bailed out 15 minutes later. We know all the details and stuff. We won't get into those personal details, but I want to ask you guys, I'll start with you, Johnny, would something like this affect Jalen Carter? Would it drop him down far?
Not
Or
with misdemeanor charges, I don't think so. If they raise the charges later on, then yeah, that can do it. But his interviews are all good. Everybody's happy with his interviews and stuff like that. So no, I don't think it's going to drop his draft pick down. None.
Yeah. About
I would think twice
uh-huh.
myself. If I was an owner or something, I'd think twice about it myself, because you don't want that coming back on you, especially with the Bucks organization. Like if the Bucks were looking at him, they're not. He's way before us, but
Right.
an organization like that might say, I don't know if we'll pass on him. I see this other guy over here, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Now, hypothetically, let's just say it happens. He does drop, let's say around 18 or 19. Would a GM like Jason Light say, or would he be like, okay, yeah, red flags, let's go somewhere else?
I think he would say, Nolan Smith is still here.
But what if he's not? And you got Jalen
Carter. If I could trade up, all right, he's ranked to go around the 21st spot. Okay, Nolan Smith is.
Okay.
He's going to go. His draft stock's going to increase, but it's not how much is going to increase. So if he gets up to around the 15th spot, 14th spot, then I'd be on the phone trading up to get him myself, because we don't know what they're going to do with Shaq Barrett yet. Are we going to bring him back? Is he going to play? And if he does, how is that going to work with Tryon? We might want to stick our toes in that water right there, You just heard me say trade up, okay? That's not what I really want to do in this draft, although I am in love with the guy. Yeah. I like a lot of players in this draft. We don't know what's going to happen with Jamal Dean, so we got to look at the cornerbacks too. And there was a really speedy ass quarterback out there today. So my dream would be to just trade out of the top 2 rounds and pick up bodies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And future bodies. In other words, load up for next year's draft too.
19th, picking 19 like that, with our needs, it's tough. If Bijan Robinson's not there at 19, he's already.
And we're limited to 1 pick per draft for rounds.
But I mean, it would be a good year to say, okay, you know what? Jason Light's like, okay, let's just trade down, go to the second round. Let's add an extra pick here and there, go from there.
Or trade all your 5th round and beyond picks for more top level picks.
Yeah.
So that we get starters and not just people we put on the practice squad or out on the special teams unit.
True. And you do got to get a day 1 starter if you're moving up. He's got to be starting.
Absolutely.
What about you, Alec? Anything you'd like to see the Bucks do specifically with the 19th pick? Would you trade it up, or would you trade down and get more picks, or stay there and take your chances?
I mean, it all depends on who's available
Mhm.
at that position, because they're known for if they have that draft pick and they see the board and it's not they like,
Yeah.
and they can see like where like the downward trends of certain players like falling back in the draft.
Mhm.
I mean, it's one of those things where if it's available, they could take it. And if it's there, I'm like I wouldn't mind them getting their player that they want at that position. But
Okay.
then again, like if it's they're targeting a certain player like they did last year and trade back, get more draft picks, I'm all opposed with either situation.
Okay. Fair enough. I would say, like you said, it depends who's there. At that 19th spot because we
Also
got to wait.
depends on who we lose because we know free agency is out
That
of the
too.
question this year.
Yeah, so it does change your perspective and changes who you need to get so to fill those empty spots. So, guys, I got to tell you, we got a lot of comments on here. I'm really surprised we got all
I
these
don't. All
comments.
I see is Facebook user. None of them showed names.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to just give me 1 second. Let me go on Facebook on the Ben Zone because that's where I could see them. Okay. Odette says hi. She
Hello, Odette.
This is Blackie Lawless, Mr. Lawless.
Okay.
Thank you for tuning in tonight. Bucks need to draft Abawari from Northwestern. Showed out at the combine.
You know who I'd like to have from Northwestern?
Who's that?
Hole.
The tackle.
Always best hole.
But he's going to be gone before we get to him too.
Oh, Peter. What's his Peter's?
No, Skoronsky.
Skoronsky.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. He'll be probably at worst 12th, maybe. Like we won't go near him.
He'd
No
have
one's
to drop.
won't be available. Maybe. I don't know about that.
He's within range of trade. That's all
Yeah.
I'm looking at right now. He either trade back or trade up. It depends.
Okay. Let's see. Can Wirfs handle tackle? He's probably assuming left tackle.
I wouldn't want to mess with Worse right now.
Yeah, that's tough because that's what we're hearing reports that they could move Tristan to the left side. I mean, he could play it, but he's so good at the right tackle. Do you really want to take that
Yeah,
chance?
Marpet could play center too, but there was a big drop off when he did.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, I just feel like Wirfs is so good at that right tackle spot. Putting him in that left tackle spot is could be very tough on him. You know what I mean? Like at the beginning, because you're learning a new position, not a new position, but you're learning that side. That's the blind side. So it can be a little tougher, but Wirfs is great. I mean, but
it's still like changing hands you right with.
Yeah, that's a very good point. That's a good analogy right there.
Your lead foot is off. Everything's off. Everything is off when you change sides. So
right,
you're used to doing one thing one way and doing it well. Don't mess with it, dude.
Yeah. And Alex Buddy Scott says hi. Jenna Jameson, what? DM me? Okay. I think Wirfs can handle left tackle. I think that's Blackie right there. Yeah. He could, but
could he do it well without thinking about it? That's the whole point. When you're playing in pro football, you have to play without thinking. Right. It's got to be natural reaction, natural instinct to do what you do. And Wirfs, I don't want to mess with that chemistry.
Right.
And besides that, you still have an open tackle spot. And then what are you going to do with the right tackle? You know what I mean?
Yep. Let's see. Christopher Cole says, and Christopher, thanks for joining us. He's a big Bucks fan as well. Brian Branch at 19. I mean, that's probably, we could draft him there because Jamel Dean could be gone. You're going to need a corner. So I could see it. I can very well see it. I mean,
there's a bunch of them slotted for 19 right now. I mean, the Robinson, he's at 19. Greg Zuerlein has him coming to the Bucks. DJ, I don't remember who DJ had. The linebacker from Arkansas has been slotted to the Bucks. A lot of linebackers are being slotted to the Bucks because they see that as a need that the Bucks are going to have to fill.
Yeah, eventually. I mean, if David leaves, Levante leaves, I don't think he will. I think he'll end up staying. But if that happens, yeah,
Even if he stays, you're still going to want to train somebody behind him.
yeah,
Minter's
yeah,
gone, you know.
that's true. That's true. Leonard to LA. Is that Kawhi Leonard there, Scott? Sorry, guys, I have to go meet up, Jim. Okay.
Have
Good to see you,
fun.
Scott. Have fun. Yep. Pick up the Titans lineman Taylor Lewan. What do you think of that one, Johnny?
They
Oh,
cut him
Jeffree
for-
Star's best friend.
He didn't get cut because of money, though. He got cut because they didn't want him on there no more. And
Yes, that's a red
he's
flag.
been injured quite a bit lately too.
That's true. So that's a red flag. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Sorry, guys, if I don't see your name. I know it's a lot of Facebook users.
If you just said Taylor Lewan about a year ago, I probably would have been all over it. You know.
Okay. Blackie says he loves us.
Love you,
Love
Blackie.
We love you too, buddy. Thank you for tuning in. Got to go Colin Abudware and let him know we're picking him at 19. Well, for your sake, Blackie, and maybe for a lot of Bucks fans' sake, hope that happens. We'll see what happens. Jim Melvin, he says apples and oranges, but Sapp would have gone top 5 if not for his issues.
Yeah, and he's one of the reasons they stopped dropping people like that too.
That's true. Yeah. I remember that, but
He was the last one to really fall because of rumor issues and shit.
Yeah.
This isn't a rumor. I mean, it's we know that he got arrested for and it was charged with misdemeanors. So he did all the right things. He went and turned himself in. He did this, did that.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I don't know. I have to wait. I have to wait it out and see if there more charges are brought against him.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You know, he's a hell of a talent. You know, it's hard to resist. I mean, if somehow this dude falls, I mean, let's say like the Eagles. I think they have what, the 10th pick in the draft. Wouldn't that be something? Like the goddamn Eagles were a minute away from winning a Super Bowl. They still have a top 10 pick. And if Jalen Carter falls to him, you want to talk about just like falling upstairs? That's like, oh man,
that would make me sick.
I mean, we're gonna have to play them this year.
You know who would be really mad about that?
Yeah.
Dallas.
Jerry Jones, like, damn it, that could have been ours.
Our guy Sean Spencer probably wouldn't like it too much either.
Right. Shout out to Sean Spencer. Let's talk football. By the way, the big announcement was Mr. Dean's going to be retiring, and Sean Spencer and Let's Talk Football crew take over the NFL edition. That's going to be awesome. We've seen Sean with all his other platforms. They're great. So, I mean,
I think it's going to bring a lot to the NFL edition. I mean, Alex already works with Sean anyway, so
that's right.
The NFL edition is not going to skip a beat. It's just going to get better, guys.
Absolutely, and you know that's Alex Loosemore's baby. He is just great. He's got, by the way, Restoring the War every Tuesday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern. Yep, check his show.
It's a hard night for me to remember. It seems like everyone's supposed to put their show on Tuesday nights, man. And I'm like, oh, which ones are on now? Cheers.
Yeah. Well, luckily I'm on Friday nights tonight. So.
Yep.
All right. Let's see. We got any more well, we'll look at the other comments later on. And well, Johnny, you are entrenched with this. The NFL Combine, which you love to watch. I'm not a big fan.
It is overrated. I'm going to tell you that. If you don't know what you're looking at, then don't bother turning it on. Okay. If you're looking for certain, now see, the 40 times to me have always been, that's the most overblown thing at the combine. All right. But when you combine that speed with somebody that you already know their tape and you've already seen that they're not just speed, they play the game correctly. Like yesterday was like one of the first times in my life that I got excited over a 40 time because Nolan Smith is the real deal. You put the tape on the guy with Georgia and you watch him and you see that he has all the skill set and not just the skill set. He thinks he knows what he's doing. He's got the moves. And then you see that combined with his 40 time and he's got that burst. If you're facing Patrick Mahomes, you want somebody like that. You want that speed. You want Shaq Barrett and you want somebody like Nolan Smith out there after him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that did excite me. Yeah. Because before I saw that, Nolan Smith was just like a 20th ranked player, good, really good player, good first round player.
Jim Melvin. Sean is the linebacker being groomed to replace Johnny. Wow. Okay. And then Jim Melvin says the combine can be the icing on the cake. Yeah. I mean, listen, the combine's great. It's
better
for
than pro
NFL
days.
for NFL fans. I mean, if you can't get enough football, this is, your off season.
Oh, if I was just watching it to be watching it, I wouldn't bother, man. It's boring as shit, dude. But you got to watch it to see the skill set of the players that especially if you're making mock drafts. You want to make a mock draft. You want to see what these guys are bringing to the table. But you also have to know what you're looking at, okay?
Well,
you have to watch footwork. You have to watch with the quarterbacks. You got to watch the way they release the ball, their stance, whether their hips are turning into it. You have to watch all this stuff. And that sometimes it gets a little bit overwhelming, but it's worth it to see it. I mean, before it was being aired, you'd have to go out to the training camps to watch it and stuff. Pro days, completely overrated. Who cares about a pro day? Look at Trevor Lawrence last year couldn't even his own handpicked wide receivers in his own stadium with no crowds around. Yeah, inside the 20-yard line. So, he was great. He still is. This is still the problem with him. But the coaching now that he has with the Jaguars has compensated for those issues.
Yeah,
and puts him in different positions to get it there.
Oh, I mean, the Jaguars finally made a good choice in a head coach, and
Peterson is a good coach.
Yes, and they're only going to get better. So, Alec, does the combine interest you at all?
I mean, I never. Okay, I'll stand corrected. I watched it once. And I fell asleep like 4 minutes into watching it.
Okay. Well, it's not for everybody.
I said yesterday. I never watched it, but I watched it once, and that was it. In my opinion, I mean, some people, like that actually like more so like. Oh my God, I'm trying to explain it. It's more so like people like Sean, Johnny, Alex, like people like that. I'm so lost.
We just break down the tape a little bit more than most people.
Break down that. Like when it comes to like drafting that, like me. I mean, I pop on a show stuff like that. I say my opinion, like say my thoughts on certain stuff. But, like people that have like a platform, like Let's Talk Football. It's one of those like combines are more so for them. Those platforms.
Put it this way,
but
if the team saw Tristan Wirfs jump out of that pool the way he did before we drafted him, we probably wouldn't have got a chance to draft him. That's basically what the combine is.
Yeah. That was amazing. I still watch that video every now and then.
The physicality of that, man, is just amazing.
Absolutely.
To have two physical beasts on our team like Tristan Wirfs and Vita Vea, that's crazy, dude.
Yeah, I mean, give the scouts credit, man. They knew what to draft, when to draft it. I mean, man, those guys will.
I have a little bit more faith in what Jason Light's doing than I normally would have before.
Well, it's because
he really hit it. He really the people that he's hit with are. I can overlook all the mistakes he's made because the ones that he's hit with. And there's some. Marpet, Kappa was a great player for us. I don't care what nobody says. The guy was out there with a broken arm playing guard. Okay.
Right. Obviously Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. I mean, those are the the surefire hits. Vita Vea, like you said, Carlton Davis.
Jamal Dean.
If we keep him, yeah. I mean, obviously, if he goes, then but
It's still a hit for Jason. It's not like just because
Yeah.
he can't afford to keep them because they outplay
right.
their expectations.
Everybody, yeah, that's right. Speaking of more releases, we kind of circle back to the Bucks. Potentially, it's going to be like Ryan Suckup. He's going to be another guy being let go, making a little more money than the Bucks would like. Plus, and we talked about this, Johnny, before the season started. 2022 couldn't kick over 50 yards. They need somebody that can, kick it from long range, and Suckup from under 50 is pretty accurate, but when it's over 50, it's not very good. So they're going to be looking to give somebody in free agency, or do we dare say it, the draft? I mean, just as long as it's not.
We could get a walk-on that can probably do it. I don't know, man. You don't draft kickers the way you draft other players, man. They usually come from the soccer teams of these schools and stuff,
Right.
And then you have to work them out and make sure they can actually play football when they're 300 pounds of fucking defensive linemen coming at you and shit,
Yeah, absolutely. And
no, I don't take anything away from kickers. That's a stressful situation to be standing there trying with your leg up in the friggin' air and knowing that you're going to get knocked out. That's why they got the rules protecting them and shit. But they still take hits, man.
Well, yeah, I mean, unless you're Justin Tucker or Koo in Atlanta, yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a crapshoot because you don't know.
Hell, even Koo had a bad year last year for him.
Tucker? Koo, yeah. Yeah. I mean,
for him, it wasn't a bad year for most kickers, but it was a bad year for him.
Right, because he's pretty much like Justin Tucker. They're probably going to be Hall of Famers as well. I mean, he's got definitely Tucker. So I'm still not over Matt Bryant. I thought that was our best kicker, by the way. Went to Atlanta and had success there. So, man.
The one we had, and never mind. I don't even want. If I start trying to think of kickers' names, I'll go nuts because I hate kickers anyway.
Connor Barth.
Barth, no, yeah, it was Barth actually that we got from Atlanta. Went back to the Saints or Atlanta, one of those guys and shit, and then he's out west now.
Yeah, and
he was the same as reversed. He could hit longer distance than Suckup, but when he missed, it was always inside the 20 and shit, man, like an extra point and shit. What are you doing, dude?
Yeah. Well, and then he had that injury when he was playing basketball in the offseason. Yeah. He was really never the same after that. So, well, Matt Gay, I mean, I thought if we would have just gave
another one. I actually liked Matt Gay, but he was so inconsistent then.
Yeah, well, he was only there for 1 year.
He had the leg for everything, but then
by the way, Ben,
he just went out not giving a shit.
Right. What's up, Alex?
I gotta step out.
Okay. All right, man. Take care, dude. Thanks for coming on, man.
All right, y'all have a good night. Be safe, Johnny, with the weather.
All right, bud.
Yeah.
All right, see you.
I don't know if you can hear that in the background. They're getting our pole plugged back up.
Oh, man. Oh, dude. We had some strong winds here in Vegas, believe it or not, last week. Where it was like in the 40, 50 mile per hour range. I know that's not anything near what you guys got. I'm sure you got.
Well, that tripped me out, man, because that was a new pole. It's only been in the ground for 2 years. A couple of years ago, a drunk hit the old one and knocked it out, and they put a new pole in, right? So it's a new pole, man, and that was wind. It just snapped it, dude. I was like, holy shit!
Wow. Amazing.
We had hail, wind, and a little bit of everything today. It's still raining. Okay. They're out there in the rain doing that shit right now.
Ooh, man, hope they're paying them well.
I hope so.
So this weekend we got the XFL. Week 3, it's ratings of they just keep dipping.
Yeah, they plummeted after the first week. I don't know why, because it's a good product on the field. Actually,
I think it's pretty good. I mean, I'm not going to complain. I mean, I enjoy the football aspect of it. I'm a little embarrassed for Vegas because our opening day at home, the field was not in the best. Didn't look like it was in the best.
Look, man, they changed towns, but they didn't change their program much.
I'm like, and you're playing on a minor league baseball field, and it's like they could have gotten a better spot. I don't know. I mean, it's just wasn't the best look when you're
Well, the Blackhawks are looking to buy a stadium for themselves now, build a stadium for themselves, which is smart. If you're going to draw people in, build the proper size stadium for you. At least don't make the seats look like it's a ghost town in there and shit. And the Blackhawks, St. Louis, they do come out to their games. They do that. So
yeah. So, I
they
think
have
it's a good product so far. I mean, and then we're
I
gonna
think
have
it should be promoted better. It just should. And you got The Rock right there, man. One of the best promoters of all time. And get on your job, Dwayne. know?
Right, yeah, because it has potential. And then you got the USFL coming up in April, which I think's another good product.
That one I've got more faith in it succeeding right now.
Yeah,
I
I
think
do.
they both can succeed. We need them both to succeed for the NFL.
Right,
Because
because
the NFL's sitting back waiting and say, if you guys last, we'll work with you.
Yeah.
If you don't last, man, don't look at us. We're going to bail on you like we did the AAF.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, listen, the USFL. I mean, what's good this year is you're going to finally play in different cities, and you're going to have more crowds.
Ownership.
So that's an ownership. That's the key. So you're going to have those combine that, and I think they've done a better job of promoting so far than the XFL,
Yeah.
the USFL, and they're on better networks. I think with Fox, NBC, Peacock.
That broadcasting makes a big difference, man.
It does. It does. I agree with that. And so the XFL, like you said, they got to start promoting it better because again, the on-field product's pretty good. The rules pretty good.
I loved the rules last year. I loved the USFL last year. I did.
Yeah.
Wasn't so happy with the Bandits. Damn it. We can't get a spring league in Florida no more. I mean, look, the Guardians in Orlando are just as crap as the Vipers were last year. The only good team we've ever put on the field was the Bandits when Steve was there in Orlando with them.
Or Steve Spurrier.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, I mean, what happened with Tampa Bandits?
Oh, excuse me. That was the AAF. My bad. The Apollos.
Yeah. With the Bandits, I mean, what happened with that? Did they just not want a team or couldn't they?
Well, the Bandits and Vipers both, they just like, nah, we can live without you guys. I guess. Nobody, I thought Bartolo was going to buy into one of them, but I guess not. That would have been nice to see Edward DeBartolo buy into a team, man. A spring league, anything.
Yeah. Former 49er owner, by the way.
Yep.
Bartolo's.
One of the best owners ever, even though he was crooked as shit.
Well, I mean, sometimes the best owners of sports are the most questionable ones,
You get crooked owners that are good, and then you get just plain dirty owners that are bad. Washington.
Culverhouse.
Washington Culverhouse.
Yeah, I mean, with Hugh, I mean, that was more putting money in his own pocket than anything else. So
yeah, absolutely.
But well, with that being said, guys, we're gonna wrap this one up. I want to thank Mr. Johnny Dean, Mr. Alex Schomburg for
was there wrestling on tonight?
Is there wrestling? Yes, SmackDown is on. And speaking of, guess who showed up? Mr. Sean Spencer in the house. And then you get Dan Snyder. Yeah.
That's what I was referring to, Sean. And the guy in Texas.
All right. We'll stay on for a few more minutes with the wrestling tonight. I did see a little bit of it.
Is it on Peacock or what?
Oh no, Fox. It was on Fox earlier tonight.
It's over?
Yeah. Came on at 8 Eastern.
I missed it. This is Gold Rush night for me, man. So
I mean, it was okay from what I've seen. Cody and Roman was in the ring for the first time together. Did a pretty good promo. You can go on YouTube and watch the highlights of that. Sammy took on Solos, one of the brothers out of the bloodline, Solo Sikoa, and Sikoa won, and then they attacked Sammy, and then Sammy got the best of him, and so that ended the show. It was
I think we got Grand Prix racing in St. Petersburg tomorrow too, don't we?
Oh yeah, and Las Vegas 400 is here this weekend, this Sunday. So
And then when did they go to Chicago for the NASCAR street race in Chicago?
I'm not sure. I honestly couldn't tell you that.
It should be pretty close, man.
Should it? Okay. We had the Daytona 500 a couple weeks ago, and
Yeah, that was pretty.
that
good.
went into like late. It went late, didn't it? Like,
Yeah, it did.
yeah. Did they have like a crash, or like was it like a?
I didn't
delay?
see the end of the race. I just I had messages from Keith, man, about it. And I was like, shit, I missed it.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
But I watched last week at
Phoenix. Was it Phoenix?
California. Was it?
Oh,
Phoenix?
California.
I think it was California.
Okay.
Was it Sonoma? They closed the track down. That was the last race going to be on that track. I think it was Sonoma.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a memorable track too.
Yeah, it is.
So maybe they're gonna they're building a new one. I don't know, but yeah, the Las Vegas 400 should be interesting. Chase Elliott's not in this one this week. I think he had an injury or something, so he's out of that.
I still haven't settled into a new driver yet because I just got back into it. Carl Edwards was the last driver I was really following, and I'm kind of like since I am an underdog guy. I always go for the underdogs, right?
Right.
I hate it because I was an old NASCAR diehard at the time, way back.
Yeah.
And Toyota kind of run me out of watching racing, but now they're the kind of underdog. They're like 2 cars in the race, usually 3 at the most, against them big teams. And I'm always like pull for the little guy over the teams. You know what I mean? So I'm kind of leaning toward the Toyotas, believe it or not now.
Well, I mean, I've had family members that were big Jeff Gordon fans.
Yeah.
I didn't like Jeff. I was a Dale Earnhardt guy, so I was all about Dale.
You seen Tony Stewart lately, man? The guy looks like a mobster. He looks like he could play in the next Godfather movie.
Well, I mean, he did. A few years ago have that incident and what a mobster. Sean says crash the last 5 laps. Okay, that's what it was. Gotcha. They had a crash there and they got delayed a little bit, but they still had a winner there. And at Daytona, yep. And Sean says Cat's entire family races.
Huh.
Oh, okay.
We might have to do a racing show then, Sean.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Let's talk about that. I mean, what is
his last
not races. Oh, well. Did I say something? No, I hope not. No, I mean, Sean's fiance, I think she's saying her family races, so cars. So yeah, we need to talk about that. That's a good topic. We can something relatable, I'll watch races every now and then. I'm not the biggest NASCAR guy, but
didn't you used to get into that NASCAR? You were in that NASCAR group not too well. I guess not. I say not too long ago, but it was probably about 10 years ago.
No, that wasn't me. I don't think.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you were in it, man. Maybe not.
No, her family is from West Virginia.
Ah,
close to Johnny, Pennsylvania, West Virginia. That's why I said that. Lots of laughs. Okay, Sean. Nice.
But that isn't a bad idea. We could get into do NASCAR. I like. See, NASCAR is not my top racing. WRC World Rally is my favorite. I love rally racing, man. Especially when it's in Europe and stuff, when those idiots are standing right beside the road. Yeah. And then I like Grand Prix racing and Formula. I like prototype racing. I love the prototype racing. I grew up in Sebring, so Sebring, they got 12 hours of Sebring there. That's always a big event.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. No, some of these races can be a lot of fun. Some of those like unknown ones that I'll go on YouTube every now and then and watch some of them. They're pretty neat.
Outlaw racing is fun as hell.
That too. Yes. Outlaw racing. Definitely. We have that out here. I mean, we got a lot of tracks here. I hear cars around my area doing that. Illegal. But still, I hear them. So
Pittsburgh's got a race too.
Oh, do they? Okay.
Yeah, they're going to, I think it starts this year.
Oh, nice. Is
downtown.
That with NASCAR or is that another?
I think it's Formula. I'm not
Formula?
sure if it's Formula or NASCAR's expanding. That's what I like about it too. I'm tired of the left-hand turns, man. I'm glad they're getting into like Watkins Glen stuff and shit. Getting into full tracks.
Right. Exactly. All right. Well, everyone, we're going to wrap this baby up. Good episode, by the way, here on Have At It, episode 12. Again, I want to thank Johnny Dean and Alex Schomburg for coming on with me tonight. We'll be back at it again next Friday night, episode 13. And I will post on what we'll talk about. Maybe we will talk more about racing and
Can
stuff.
I say one more thing?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's about the spring leagues, and it just occurred to me.
Yeah.
I think the XFL is suffering from coming right in after the regular season NFL.
There you go.
I think a lot of people by the end after the Super Bowl and through the bowl games of college and stuff are like, oh, I need a break.
That's the thing. You're fatigued from watching football since August.
Right.
But I mean,
I like it. And that gives the USFL coming in a little bit later after the draft and stuff. It makes more sense actually to me.
I think you need a little break for football fans between
early
February and April. Because then you got March Madness. Obviously, I like to talk about that. You got races like the Daytona 500. You got stuff like that. So, here's a comment from Sean real quick. Also, there's a lack of familiarity with the players. I assume that's.
I haven't really had that problem with the XFL this year, or actually USFL last year, too much. There was some where I was like, who is that? What quarterback? You know what I mean? But not too much. XFL, DiNucci and Josh Gordon, those are the stories you need to look at in there, man, because those guys, they deserved a shot, And especially with DiNucci, after Dak Prescott says, get the F off my field, last year in Hard Knocks, I was like, oh, yeah, kiss my ass, Dak. I turned against Dak completely right there. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. But don't we deal with that every year in the NFL? We most general fans that aren't following college and stuff, they don't know who these draft picks are. They don't know who these guys are they're getting on the field now until they build it up. And NFL just has that name that's going to make people watch. XFL needs to. I don't know. I think it is the fatigue, NFL, the football fatigue right at the end of the season when the XFL takes off.
Yeah, probably not the best. Well, and also with the USFL already there, they want to try and get the XFL season going and then ended right before USFL. So they're really in a tough spot,
Yes. I agree.
And you have higher ups off season look up NFL guys. Well, yeah, true. But
NFL guys do. But the general fan
guys are going to go to the XFL, the USFL to
those are the guys that are following it though. That's what I'm saying is the general public, you got to do something to grab them with a fish hook and drag them in.
Right. Promotion. Yeah, you got to promote it a little better through the XFL. But like you hit on just a second ago, Johnny, the fatigue factor for fans. I think it's kind of tough to get them all pumped up again.
And take our own Alex Schomburg. Okay. He's done with football by the time it gets there. He's done with football before it gets there. So, that you look at Alec and consider him like a general fan. Okay. That's the people you want to put their butts in the seats, right?
Yeah.
And following football up with football is not what he's not watching football now. He's not watching the XFL.
No, he's like me. He's probably going to be watching March Madness baseball. And
exactly. Give him a break. Give him a couple of months break and let him get back into the groove of it.
Right. Exactly. So let's see, Sean.
Quack.
With football every time Oregon gets to a bowl game. Well, Sean, you're playing with fire there because Oregon did beat UNC this year in the bowl game.
Ooh, shots fired.
Mr. Sean, I'm sure there's a comment that's going to pop up any second now. We'll just wait for that baby to pop up because.
Wow.
There it is. That's all you can say is wow and LOL. Lots of laughs. Sean, thank you for commenting tonight on the show. And we want to thank everybody for commenting and watching Have At It, episode 12. We are this time going to call this one a night. But again, one more time, thank you, Mr. Johnny Dean, and thank you, Mr. Alex Schomber, for joining me. We're co-host of the NFL edition, and there's other shows. I'm going to do Face the Heels, episode 4. That should be this weekend. I'll post more details on that. Johnny, if you always welcome to join us for that one.
I'm about a week away from restarting the entertainment review.
Oh, what? Yeah, why don't you go ahead and
No, I haven't got the date set yet.
I know, but I mean, you're going to
But
do a
in
show.
general, I'm going to be running the entertainment review again, and we'll be talking movies and everything,
Nice.
basically entertainment venue.
Oh man, we will
TV,
definitely put that on the
Music.
events.
We will be talking music. We will be talking WWE. Not as much as Ben does, but we will.
Pop culture. I mean, anything
Anything
going on
pop
in the
culture.
world. Yes. So, and that will be definitely
So
promoted
you can
on
get your pop culture information from a guy who in his 6th decade. Oh,
See,
if that don't grab you by the gears.
no, if you think young, you're gonna feel young. So that's the key to life, my man. So yes, check that one out. Johnny will give you more details on that as soon as he can. And once again, I want to give our boy Alex Loosemore a shout out. Restoring the War every Tuesday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern. He talks
Say that again.
Detroit Lions football. You know, he had a great first episode, and I didn't see it live because I had a family movie night.
I
You
didn't
saw
either. I
Wakanda
watched
Forever.
it.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. Wakanda Forever. We watched that one finally. Good movie. Won't spoil it. There's gonna be another one, so stay tuned for that. So anyway, I'm gonna head out, guys, and thank you very much for tuning in for Have At It episode 12. We will be back here next week, next Friday night at same time, 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific on Have At It with me, Ben Cornett, and Johnny, probably Alec, anybody that's going to join me on the show. So check us out there and have a good weekend. We will see you next week.